When I was a kid, I uh, I never really fit in anywhere, and I never spoke to anybody directly. At least, I was always afraid to talk to people or to introduce myself, and that became more prominent as I got older. But some of my earliest memories as a kid, one of the earliest memories that I have was me looking out from my bedroom window, sitting on my bed. My bed was next to the window, just looking out, watching the sunset, and in complete silence, just looking over the landscape, just thinking to myself. And I don't remember what I was thinking, but I remember that I was thinking about something. That was one of my earliest memories of me thinking to myself. And since I can recall, I've always looked at the world a little differently. I always felt out of place. I always felt weird, like there was something wrong with me. I never fit in, and I was never the popular kid. I was always quiet, just looking, observing, watching my surroundings. And to this day, I still do that. I still rather listen than speak. I'd still rather observe my environment than anything else. And growing up, you know, as a kid who just sees things a little bit differently, you're made to think that you're weird, you're different, you're not in a good way. You're different, not in a good way. Like you stand out from the rest of the crowd, and it's kind of off putting as a kid because you're just trying to find a place for yourself. And all throughout my childhood, I had no place. I really had no place except in myself. Um, and the other weird kids. But you know, you grow up, you get older, and you realize you're not weird. You're not weird. You just operate differently. You operate on a different frequency than everybody else. And it's funny because, like, I look at all the popular kids at specifically high school that I graduated with, and I see how they're doing now. And they change. They've changed. I've changed. And I'm not somebody to judge someone else. Um, and say you're living your life bad, you have to change. Like, I'm not gonna go up to someone and tell them that, but I recognize them. And you can tell when somebody is having a harder time. You can tell when they've regressed or gone backwards. And I look at all the popular kids that I used to go to school with, and Like, I still see them around once in a while where I live. And the roles have now reversed. And I don't want to like insult anybody, but when I see them, I sometimes have to ask subconsciously, what happened to you? Like, in the least judgmental way possible, what happened? Like, you had things going for you? You were really cool in school, supposedly cool. But now here I am. It's like on my grind, living the life that I should be, not always perfectly, but living the life that I feel was intended for me. And homie just walked out of the store 20 pounds heavier, 30 pounds heavier than when I last saw him, with like a 6-pack of beers. Just like, you can't help but feel some way. And that was a completely random tangent, but I feel like it catches up to you eventually. Like, you're weird until you're not. You're weird until you have something going for you. Because often the weird kids are the ones that are successful later. Like, the ones that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that actually do it. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, all the strange computer geeks whom everybody thought were going nowhere, playing with their little computer devices. They're somebody now because they were considered weird, when in actuality it's just somebody has a difference in character and they have a vision that other people don't. And I feel like once your vision, assuming that you fit into this category, is actualized, you have something, you have like an image of what you feel your life should be like. Once you actualize that and put it into practice, all that weirdness that people thought you emitted, people get a strange vibe when they're around you, it's not going to matter anymore. Because what makes you weird is exactly the thing that's going to make you successful. Think about it. If you have a very good idea that maybe some people, like most people, think it's not going to work, or he's wasting his time, or why does he even try? This dude is crazy, off the walls, strange, weird. But the idea works, then who's laughing? Then what do you really have to say? But yeah, I grew up just not fitting in anywhere. Like I said, I always felt like I was weird. But turns out I'm not weird. I just have outlying opinions. I have a different perspective on life. I don't know why. I don't know if it was based on how I was raised and the way my environment shaped me, or if I was just born this way. I have no idea. And I honestly don't really have time to think about it anymore like I used to. All I know is that I'm this way. I am this way, and this is the way I am. And there's no use pondering it because that doesn't change the past. I can only change the future by changing the present me. And the present me knows that I'm not weird. And you're not weird either. Maybe you just stand out differently. A lot of people with the black sheep mentality are seen as outcasts because they don't fit into society. They don't think what everybody else is thinking. Oh no, why? Maybe it's because I can think for myself. Maybe it's because I use my brain to decide whether or not something is actually good for me instead of just following the crowd. To me, it's like these things are just normal. Like, this is what common sense looks like and sounds like. But to a lot of people, they just follow the crowd and go with what's popular. To me, that's just silly. Because I'm living my own life. I'm only going to get to live it once. So why am I going to sit around and try to pretend that I like something that I don't? Just because it's a part of culture, or because it's popular, or because it's trending. I don't care. I'm sorry, but I don't care. I wish I did, and I wish I could just talk about sports and pop culture and media and I don't know what else. I can't think of anything because that's not how my brain is wired. I just care what I care about, which is everything in life that matters. I can't help but think, what would it be like to be naive, to not know any better? Maybe even to enjoy the small things in life that I'm saying doesn't matter at all. What would that be like? To fit in with everybody else. I didn't ask to be this way. I just am this way. And it's not your fault that you're weird or that you're perceived as weird. You just don't fit in to the categories that society has decided is acceptable. You think for yourself. You operate on your own basis and of your own accord, not of anyone else's. You don't follow the trends. You don't follow the media. You follow what you believe in and what you stand for as a human being. Societal pressure is not a thing that you struggle with. And that's not a bad thing. Stars are beautiful tonight. Thank you for listening to me yap. It's still crazy to me that I have 6,000 plus people who are subscribed just to listen to me talk. I mean, it's everything I wanted when I first started making videos, because I felt like I had something to share. I felt like I had something important that needed to be expressed to the world. And I could not find that with anybody else in my life. So to the internet I took. And I didn't think it would turn into what it is now. But I appreciate you, every single one of you, for being here. You're not weird. You're just a little different. And that's okay. And I'll see you later. Peace.
Was the wallet you had before?
Zoom in on this.